Hello everybody, and welcome again to another Sidious replay. It's going to be a 1v1 against 4 cities, playing as the red Protoss. And down here we have Scarfed Part as the blue Zerg. Now we're of course cross-positioning on this map. Usually the bigger maps tend to favor Zerg if you can keep up with your bases. Keep doing expansions when you can, and basically you can out macro usually Protoss, just because of the fact that Protoss really, for the most part, don't have any harassment type units. And you can do some play with some DTs or High Templar drops or stuff of that nature, or walking some units in the mineral lines. But unlike Terran that can just drop in, move out, do some damage, it's a little harder for the Protoss to attack another base and then to defend their own base from attack. Current APM 94 for Sidious, dropped down to 13, and then Scarf Tart is at 49. I usually start off pretty high with the APM and it falls off towards the later game. The reason behind that is that, and I learned this little trick from Side Starcraft's channel. What you do is with your little probes here, while they're mining, if you watch them real closely, there's a slight delay from the time they come back to the time they finish mining to the time they come back. Way of avoiding that is if you click on them, hold shift, right click when they return, and then hit C, right click and hit C on the mineral patch. As many times as you can, you'll queue up a few of them. They'll just turn around right away and come back. So you mine a little bit faster because of that. It looks like standard pool going down at 14. Expect there it is, spawning pool at about 15. It looks like he stayed at 14 in this case. I decided to wall off fast expand down here on the low ground. Go and get my forge out and get a cannon to prevent any type of Zergling run by. This also makes it so I can secure an expansion right here if I decide to. Being that, going up against a Zerg player, they always want to try to be at least one base ahead of either a Protoss or, Terran. So, having equal bases makes it easy. And this guy does a little geyser trick. I had him on follow. He went on the geyser. I lose my follow. I'm focused somewhere else, building this down here. And he decides to, oh my god, put a proxy hatchery in my base. So I'm going to have to pull probes off in order to do it. And he's not too happy about that. If he was able to get that up and running, he could easily spread creep and get some spine crawlers, or actually drop in some Zerglings inside my base here. So you have to pull those probes off to the start. Not too worried since, as you can see, I'm a little bit ahead of him. Send back the little training, or the probe to follow him. And he drops yet another hatchet. But this time, a little trick you can use, the creep that's spread around it, you can put something else. Now he decides to go with the spine crawler. I way overreact to this whole spine crawler because spine crawlers can't burrow if there's no creep there. So I pull way too many probes off this time. So he's probably happy about that, but if you really think about it, he's lost all those resources because of it. So, and I have a couple cannons, my expansion's getting down. So I'm looking alright. Income showing, a lot more harvesters. Production tab, you can see I'm making my Nexus, another pilot, so I don't supply block myself, even though I kind of do. That's my biggest flaw, I will have to say, is I supply block myself. Getting a little better at it, but sometimes I don't keep track of it as well as I should. He's dropping down both extractors over on his. Possibly going for Zergling speed, or maybe just saving up the gas for roaches and get a decent amount of roaches out. He's got a queen at each base. Definitely got to keep up with eject larvae. 5 larvae spawning as opposed to 3 is a big difference. But with all the extra resources he's had, he's not been focused on his macro at all, and he's banked up a lot of resources. He decides to drop an in-base hatch. Now, if you have extra resources, again, that's another production facility. You can make workers, or you can make, packing units. But sometimes it's a little bit better if you have it actually at a possible expansion. Maybe even have a couple Zerglings clear this off, or clear this off and put it here. so that you're already in position. Not only do you have the extra hatchery to make it so that you build more units, but it's already where it needs to be, so when you run out of minerals in either your main or your expansion here, your natural expansion, that you can just transfer them over and you're already ready to start mining and whatnot. As you can see, my APM's tapered off down to about 50-ish. Dropping a couple gateways now that actually have some static defenses. And I do a great job rallying these probes to the mineral line. See, this is stuff that you might not do, you might not screw that up. Occasionally I do, and little things like that can cost you the game. The best thing to do is when you actually drop an expansion down, go ahead and have it rally to them. You don't actually have to wait for the building to be built before you can start rallying. And maybe I just misclicked or did something along the nature and screwed that up somehow. Oh, look what we got down here. We have a Nidus network being produced. He knows for the most part he won't be able to break down my door, so he's going to get possibly overlords in position. Maybe this overlord's going to be flying around to do so, and try to sneak into my base that way with the Nidus network. Now, Zerg players that are very good with these Nidus networks are something to be feared. I mean, if they do it just right, he can drop it here, he can drop it wherever, get in my base, do some work, retreat his units so he doesn't lose anything, and keep up the harassment that way. Now, in fear that he might do that, I go ahead and put a pylon out here, and I got some pretty decent coverage except for that spot right there. The OBS is out moving. He does see this overlord coming in. The overlord's trying to find a little spot where he can sneak in, so bringing off one of my stalkers to see if I can find where that overlord's going. He does a good job microing it away so I don't get shot. It doesn't get shot. Looks like he's also finally working on Zergling speed, as well as I'm getting attack level 1. Looking at the army size, it's 60, now 85 to 70, so he's definitely got an army advantage. I got a harvester advantage. That definitely means that I have a much smaller army. I'm up 12 supply on harvesters, but I'm down 13 supply in here. So basically I'm down, what, 25 supply worth of army compared to him. And here comes the Nidus. If this got in my base, it would be GG, no question about it. So I do thin that off a little bit and push the overload back. My little observers coming in here. Now, two big things about StarCraft, and you see a lot of people say it. Vision and scouting are two huge things. Vision, meaning being able to see the majority of the map, and he's got this watchtower that I should have gotten. But knowing what they're doing, I see the two bases inside of here. I see the Nidus network. I see the spawning pool and roach warren, but he's not teching anything else at the moment. So I know he's, for the most part, sticking with roaches, at least for the moment. And you can almost assume that he's got some static defenses here. Now, about this time, of course, the Zerg player should be at least thinking about another expansion, especially with the banked up minerals he does. So he finally does clear out these rocks and puts it over here, which is a good position. I mean, unless I scout with the OBS, it's kind of difficult to just assume it's going to be here. A lot of times they'll go for the high yield, not only for the extra income, but as a frontline base that maybe they want to attack, people to attack here. Because if I come in here and he's got a base right here, that's a choke point. There's choke points all throughout the game. And if he's able to attack here and here at the same time, it works a little better. So that's more of a, place that you need to be watching out for. But standard, you need to be at least 3 bases now. He's got plenty of minerals. Supply count is roughly the same with 100 to 104. I'm sticking with Mass Stalker because I didn't see any Hydras. Hydras mixed, the back line with roaches just annihilate gateway units. When I used to play Zerg, I would love to see Protoss just stick with Stalkers and Zealots, just because Roach Hydra would just rock them. The Roaches would of course tank, and then the Hydras would just unload from back and just annihilate them. production tab, I'm getting, of course, armor level 1. He himself, I believe, he's going to probably start working on upgrades. It's a little fun to watch all the larvae spawn at the same time. And of course, he actually has a spire. He's anticipating, of course, that I'm going to get... oh, we got a little battle going on over here. Trying to poke in there a little with my stalkers and kill a couple of the Zerglings as I'm microing back. But yeah, he's getting the Corruptors, just anticipating that I'm going to get Colossus, because on the average, a lot of times, Protoss players will get Stalkers. Now, I'm preparing all these rocks to get ready for my next stage, and his Overlord comes over here and sees it. I myself see the Overlord, so I'm thinking, okay, I think he should try and come up behind me and attack. So instead of just continuing to kill rocks and get flanked, I'll just go ahead and retreat, because I don't want to take a chance of losing my entire army when it's not prepared. But having that one Colossus out, he does have Thermal Lance. I'm able to go back here, clean this up, and I feel confident enough that his army won't be able to kill me. But as you can see, he's starting to get a little bit of the Corruptors. And on the production tag, you see I'm getting Zealot Charge, attack level 2, and he's getting double upgrades. So he's getting attack and defense at the same time, plus getting what's that called again? Let's see here, Reconstruction.